And here we are, folks, for game 2 of our doubleheader, week 5 matchup. Green Hornets and the Red Army about to face off in a little bit. And for this winless Red Army team, this could be the day, as every Red Army faithful fans have been hoping for. Not necessarily about another win, but looking for their first win. And of course, could this be the day? That's what the Red Army fans have been hoping all week. And it just changes and changes, but every Sunday they're asking the same question. And hopefully this will be the last time they ask when will be the day, because they're hoping today is the day. I'm Angelo Pontel, bringing you all the live action coverage here at the Ice Sports Forum in Bradenton, Florida. And joining me in the booth, Andy Townsend. Andy, welcome aboard.
Thanks, Angelo. It's very interesting to see a team like the Red Army. You know, they're making strides and progress, but it hasn't been enough to get a victory over any team yet. And now with a team like the Green Hornets that started out 3-0 and now are on a 2-game losing streak. You know, it's very shocking to see right now, but then against a team like the Red Army, they have an opportunity to rebound and get a chance to put things away. And of course, you know, I've been talking with Steve Byrne before the game, and he said that last week, of course, especially with that loss to the Yellow Jackets, that the weaker players were there, the more stronger players like Doug Draper, Omar Chaquan, you know, some of those players not showing up, it definitely hurt their squad a little bit, and they weren't able to necessarily get the job done on defense. But now with the new players intact, we'll see what happens. And with it, that was the pre-game report as they get things going quickly. And Tom Finley now on the left side looking to try to make things happen, but still be taken away. Doug Draper now with the puck. And this was going to go all the way back. Jim Thomas trying to get to it first to a wide open Steve Byrne. And Angelo Pontel knocks it away. Stroughton with the control. Except for Mark Water now, it's intercepted by Nader, and he's got Stroughton to work with. Nader looking to set up to Howie Stroughton. This one gets knocked away. This one now back over to Steve Byrne. Byrne will regroup. Looks to get this one set up to Thomas, but now it's back over to Gorman. Mark Walker with a lot of time. Looks to set this one up. This one now back over. Jim Thomas looking to set this one up. This one now back over to Stroughton again. And Stroughton looking to get this one cleared out. Gets it past Washburn. And he'll find Mark Walker. This one now back over to Ivan. Ivan looking to get his men set up. Gets around Quicko, but not around RT3, and he's off with the puck. And Phil Field slips back in the process, only Chaquan back. Larry Liebler trying to get around, and instead Chaquan, of course, surprising that he's jumped in on defense. You thought he'd be in on the offensive position. And now comes Liebler. We'll skate around again. We'll fire the shot. And Chewy stops it initially, but then he didn't cover it up. So now Red Army now with a rebound opportunity. This one going back the other way. Here comes Phil Field. Puck back over to Roberge. Falbo trying to hold up his man. Ricci with the pass now gets it off to Liebler. Only Chaquan back, and here comes Liebler, another opportunity. Liebler regroups. Looking for a man to get the pass off to. And here comes a penalty coming up early, and that's going to be unfortunate for the Green Hornets, and that's been part of their problem. A hooking call by Omar Chaquan. He'll be sent to the box early, and that is going to give the Red Army an opportunity to get the first power play. See, and that's the other thing too. When you look at, see Andy, the other thing I figured out with this Green Hornet team, you know, now with the 2-game losing streak, and it's like the positioning, where do you go from there? And of course, Angelo, you know, Green Hornets, especially after their loss to the Yellow Jackets, things have been out of order, and they haven't been able to be the same Green Hornet team that we saw in the first round, and now we're even seeing it more. So for the Red Army, this could essentially again be the day where they could actually get their first win if they play their cards right. And if they can make the right shots off, it just might be the day they get their first win. But we'll see. Puck back over to Gorman. From Finley, now back over to Walker. This one's going to come back over to Brian Vick. From Vic now, it's over to Angelo Pontello. Pontello in his own end, gets it around Draper, hits on the back of the skate of Nader, and here comes Washburn, steps in front. And he will get knocked off the puck by Pontello, will regroup. Pontello will fire the shot, gets it off to Finley, finds Madalena, and he will knock this puck away. Not the smartest choice there by John Madalena, especially when he had Nader as an option. Pontello regroups and looks like he's going to take this one in himself. No, he's going to look for a man to pass it off to. Firing shot, this one now open to Madalena. Firing the shot, knocked away by Draper, gets around Gorman, and here comes an open Jim Thomas. Only Angelo Pontello back. And he strips the puck loose a little bit, but Thomas regains possession on the puck. Still looking for an opportunity. Stick handling like crazy, taking the shot. Brian Vick knocks it away, and here comes Draper to try to finish. Now it's off to Jim Thomas, and Brian Vick's going to stop this one, despite the puck moving back and forth. But 40 seconds remain on Chiquan's penalty. And at that time, Jim Thomas had to be very creative when he saw Angelo Pontello coming back. And of course, a great hockey sense there by Thomas, you know, especially with a guy like Angelo Pontello coming back in his one-on-one. It's not just any particular one-on-one. You have to be very creative in terms of moving the puck forward without losing it to Pontello. And Jim Thomas, with his stick handling skills, he made something happen. And he made a nice opportunity happening despite being a man down. Puck back to Walker. This one now to Ivan. Taken away by Stroud. No, back over to Thomas the other way. Off to Roberge. This one off to Walker. Trying to set it to D'Angelo, instead intercepted by Quicko. Gets around D'Angelo. And Quicko slips and falls. Almost hit his face. Maybe it did hit his face, but he's able to get up from that one. And now it's off to Liebler. Looking for a setup opportunity here. As obviously we're back to full strength. Another shot fired. Here comes Chewy, knocks it away. Now off to Roberge. Red Army looking to set up another opportunity here. Phil Field gets it around the boards, and here comes Ricci. He'll skate back for it. Off the boards, this one to D'Angelo. Taken away by Stroughton. Stroughton now back over to Liebler. Intercepted by D'Angelo. Liebler gets a piece of it, but D'Angelo puts it back in the Red Army end. Here comes Pontello to pick up on the puck. And puck is going to bounce all the way back into the Green Hornet end, and it looks like, no, Chiquan's going to be able to get back there in time. Red Army changed their lineup quickly as Chiquan fires a pass over to Draper, now sets it back up to Chiquan. Working off of Pontello and Nader. Looking to set this one up to Draper just off of his reach. Now it's back over to Finley. Shoots it into Draper. Back in the Red Army end. Here comes Pontello with the puck. Now back over to Draper. Firing the shot, knocked away by Brian Vick. This one over to RT3. Stopped by Jim Thomas. Stripped loose by Nader. Firing shot, and this one goes in. Omer Chiquan kept it low and steady, and a nice crisp shot, and it gets past Vick. And with that, the Green Hornets take the 1-0 lead with 6:18 to go. Again, nice shot there by Chiquan. I mean, you can't set it up any perfect. And of course, with Draper in the mix in terms of him being the setup man, Chiquan back on defense, and they still find ways to score on this Red Army team. And referee just can't seem to get his skate out of there. And now up comes Phil Field. Field with an opportunity. He'll take the shot, and it goes in! I can't believe this one. Phil Field with an individual performance effort, and if Chiquan playing from the defensive position wasn't enough, Phil Field had to get one from his own. Oh man, you gotta be loving it for Phil Field. And of course, Brian Vick already, just again, how does that happen? You know, that's just an opportunity, and that should have been on you to try to, you know, take a shot right there. You knew Phil Field was coming up, and yet there was nothing you could do to stop it from happening. Of course, again, Phil Field, you know, he also has been known for a powerful shot as well, but you have to give credit to this guy. He has been making it happen. And of course,
In terms of scoring, we have to, again, give a shout out to Phil Field. I don't think I've ever seen him score this many goals in one season. And of course, according to our statistics, that is goal number 3 for Phil Field. And we're not even in mid-season technically yet. So this is crazy to see. Thomas finds Draper now, finds it wide open, Steve Byrne. Looks to set up to Thomas again, Vic knocks it away. This one back over to Madalena. Steve Byrne now over to Jim Thomas, gets around Nader. Thomas fires the shot, this one goes in. Right where Mama hides the cookies, Jim Thomas puts it 3-0 for the Green Hornets now, and we're not even 7 minutes into the game. And it looks like Andy, they're gonna have to wait another week to say this is the day. You'll be hearing another chant going on. Yeah, no doubt about this one. It's just a little bit, I think at this point, you know, a couple more goals for the Green Hornets, and then this game's underway, and then just start running the clock. And now Angelo Pontello is gonna start taking some initiative. Gets around Bell. He'll play quickly. This one now back around over to Walker. Now Gorman regroups. Gorman looking to set up to Pontello. Angelo Pontello fires the shot. And did Shuey make the save? And he does. Angelo Pontello trying to fire things off quickly here. But unfortunately, the Green Hornets stop him again. Madalena and foul ball on the face-off. This one going back around now to Liebler. Puck now he finds Greg Bell. This one back over to Pontello. Finds Ricci. Looking to set to Madalena. Instead, this one goes back over to Washburn. Gorman. Now back over to Liebler. But they're going the wrong direction. They continue to go backwards, and now it's back over to Pontello. Finds Ricci. Liebler trying to get to it first, but no, Marty Washburn gets to it instead. Finds Ivan. And Ricci will get this one dumped out in the Green Hornet end, and the Red Army will change up their defensive line. From Mark Walker now back over to Jim Thomas, and it's going to be an offsides call. Steve Byrne was already at least a good 2-3 inches over the blue line when Thomas was on the move. And with that, referee will realign the teams and the face-off will take place. And it looks like Howie Strout and Tom Finley. No, yeah, it's going to be Howie Strout against Jim Thomas for the face-off. Puck back over to Field. Finds Chiquan. Chiquan with the puck now back over to Roberge. And now Jim Thomas will pick up. Puck back over to Draper. Now fires over to Steve Byrne. From Draper. Sets up to Roberge. Puck back over to Field. And Phil Field will be forced to get this one off the boards back in the Red Army end. Here comes Quicko. Shot taken by Thomas. Knocked away by Quicko. Chiquan is sent back for the puck. Chiquan will regroup. Lost control of the puck and Stroughton will take this one away. Now back over to Finley. Finley will slip and fall. Puck shot right into the back of Finley. I'll get this one cleared out. Here comes Phil Field. From Draper. Intercepted by Pontello. Will keep it in the Green Hornet zone, but not for long as Chiquan knocks it back out to Steve Byrne. Sets up to Thomas, only one defender back. Thomas fires, goal number 2. And the frustration continues for this Red Army team as Jim Thomas and the Green Hornets are making a strong statement that this 2-game losing streak has to stop and they need to pick up their 4th win. And certainly they are doing that right now with a 4-0 score.
over to Pontello. Misfires the shot. This one off to Liebler. Ricci trying to get to the puck first. He will. Mark Follow quickly follows pursuit. This one now past Liebler. This one around now over to Tom Ivan. And Gorman knocks it away. This one now over to Ricci again. Sets up to RT3. Kicked away by Chewy. This one coming back over to Pontello. Off the boards. This one off the boards. Gets it off and around over to Gorman. Gorman now setting up to Ricci, now taken away by Liebler. Liebler on the move the other direction. Heading into the Green Hornet zone. Looks to set up to Madalena. Fired shot knocked away. Liebler back over the other direction again. This one off to Ricci. Looking to set up to Pontello. Instead, this one knocked away by Greg Bell. Shot fired just off the left post. Gorman trying to keep it in the Green Hornet zone. Ricci looks to set up. Now back over to Pontello on the one-timer shot. Misses again on a lot of slant shots, and this one's passing the net every time. Larry Liebler with the puck, working against Doug Draper. Puck now off to Ricci. Puck comes all the way back over to Pontello. Another one-timer shot. Shoots right into Washburn. He'll get this one cleared out. This one comes back to Vic for the icing call. 31 seconds remain in the opening period. And right now it is a 4-0 Green Hornet lead. Andy, I'm not exactly sure what you want to consider this one.
Oh yeah, I mean, you have to look at it this way. You know, they have some bright spots, the Red Army do, but to obviously say that they have a chance to win a game, I mean, right now they're showing that they have the talents of an 0-12 team at this point. I mean, the way that they're playing and the way they're not really, it doesn't seem like they have anything going right now. In the Green Hornets, you know, they have a system going and they're not even trying too hard, but at the same time, I mean, come on, at 4-0 right now, there has to be some explanation at this point. Face-off now takes place deep in the Red Army zone. Green Hornets have an opportunity to make this 5-0 before the end of the first period. Jeff Quicko with the puck. He'll get this one flipped over. Now over off to Tom Finley. This one to Quicko, and it looks like he'll just hold on to the puck. No, he'll just get this one passed out. And that is how the first period is going to come to an end. "4-0 Green Hornets." Again, a surprise, Andy. Don't know exactly what to say on that one, Angelo. It's a little bit unfortunate that the scoreline is the way it is, but what can you expect? This is a 3-2 team going up against a winless 0-5 Red Army. And right now, they don't seem like, even when the playoffs did come, I don't think they're even playoff ready. You know, they still have to find their system and they have to find something going. And right now, even in the approaching mid-season, they don't have anything going for them. All other three teams, they have a system going on, but the Red Army, where do you begin with them? There's nothing going on. And with that, first intermission, 4-0 Green Hornets against the Red Army. And we'll have the second period shortly to you. Don't go away, we'll be right back. This is Over 50 Hockey on the Pontello Broadcasting Network. Chuck Falbo and Howie Stroughton on the face-off to begin the second period. Puck goes back, Tom Finley trying to skate to it first, but instead, Chewy, it gets deflected off of Finley, and now it's Howie Stroughton takes a shot, and let's see. Referees are going to call that a goal despite the net coming off. And they're going to count that one in. If only, Angelo, there was a booth review on that one to see if the net got kicked out before Stroughton laid it in there, but unfortunately, that's not how the Over 50 Hockey League works. Well, on that note, there will be no shutout for the Green Hornets. Their opportunity lost right 9 seconds into the second period. And now for the Green Hornets, this is kind of like a redo for them. Tom Finley with the puck again. Red Army playing a little bit more of an aggressive approach. He'll fire the shot, bounces off of Chewy. Now over to Nader, another firing shot. And now the Red Army suddenly playing a little bit more aggressive. Here comes Nader trying to finish, and it'll be saved by Chewy. So in the first 28 seconds into the second period, being down 4-0, that probably was just enough to get the Red Army fueling for something. And at least in that 28 seconds, they got a goal, and maybe then some if they had scored right there.
Oh yeah, I don't know if they overheard us in the booth, Angelo, but you know, it certainly seemed like the way they were playing, there was something that I guess Captain Angelo Pontello was telling them, and now it is starting to show a little bit more, but we'll see if they can continue this moving forward.
Pontello finds Finley. Puck intercepted by Chiquan. Sets up to Thomas. And here comes a call. And another shot, it'll go in. But what was the initial call? It certainly couldn't have been Angelo Pontello holding up Jim Thomas. That was pretty clean. Either way, there shouldn't be a penalty now that the Green Hornets reclaimed their 4-goal lead. But Brian Vick definitely jumped out big time out of his crease, and the Green Hornets made sure that he would severely pay for that. Chiquan finds Steve Byrne. This one now back over to Ray Toller. Back off to Roberge. Stepping in front is Doug Draper, looking for more. Looks to set up, taking the shot. Here comes Steve Byrne with the puck. Look now back over to Thomas trying to fire the shot. This one knocked away. Now back over to Roberge. Looks to set up to Toller. RT3 trying to skate to it first. He does. Into the Green Hornets zone. It's 3-on-1. Missed arid pass. That'll give the Green Hornets time to get back in front. Puck now back over to Liebler. Stopped by Draper. And this puck is going to move up to a wide open Jim Thomas. Back over to Steve Byrne. Firing the shot, kicked away by Vick. This one now off to Ricci. Chiquan will regain possession for the Green Hornets. And he'll put this one in the Red Army end. Brian Vick trying to stop it, cannot. Off to Ricci. He'll flip this one high. This one will head all the way back to Mark Walker, trying to get this bounce off the boards. Here comes Pontello. He'll get this one cleared out back in the Green Hornet end. This one off to Walker. Puck now off to Pontello. Trying to set up the Finley, instead knocked away by Steve D'Angelo. Now up from Bell to Ivan Jr. And Walker will dump this one in the Red Army end. Pontello gets to it first. Looking to try to fire this one, instead it gets off to Finley. Puck set up now to Nader. Finley with the pass. We're going to try to take the shot, but there were 3 Green Hornet players covering him. Finley taking another shot again. And now it'll be taken away by Walker. This one off the board, stopped by Gorman. Taking the shot, just misses to the right. Puck up to Pontello. Sets up to an open Madalena. Fires the shot. Kneed away by Chewy. Finley sets up to Pontello, fires the shot, bouncing through and off of Chewy again. This one to Pontello. On the end around. And this one's going to get iced all the way back with 8:12 to go in the second period.
Chiquan finds the pass over to Draper. Roberge intercepts it. Will be taken up by Steve Byrne in the Red Army zone. Looking for an opportunity to set up, he'll find Draper. Draper now looking for his man, and Thomas, he's got Chiquan to work with, he'll fire over to him. Now off to Phil Field. Taking the shot, shoots it right in the back of Steve Byrne. Field with another opportunity, here comes Roberge, and it is a 3-on-1 for the Red Army. And Roberge just took a shot and could not reach it out to Ricci. Chiquan now finds Byrne. Steve and Guy Roberge just clears it out in his own end. Not exactly sure why he did that. But now it's from Liebler over to Stroughton. Chiquan with the puck. Steve Byrne will regroup. Puck now over to Draper. And here comes a penalty coming up. Not exactly sure what they're calling it on. And as soon as that happens, another goal is scored.
And now Baden just might have turned worse for the Red Army. And from what we've seen here, it is obvious by the scoreline, the Green Hornets are the ones in charge of this game. And the Red Army is just looking for anything at this point to end the misery. Well, of course, Red Army on their way to mid-season going winless at 0-6. But then keep in mind, don't forget, what happened, what was it, 2 seasons ago? When the Grey Wolves were in the similar situation at 0-6, and they went as far as going 0-7. And that's the current record of the longest winless streak to start a season off before they finally won in their 8th game of that season. And I believe that was against the Green Hornets. And of course, you know, looking at the way this Red Army team's been playing right now, I would not be surprised at all that after 6 games then all of a sudden something clicks and then they start playing together. But not surprised at all right now. And I'm not even fazed that this Red Army team just might go 0-12. There's something that's going to happen. I believe that they'll win a game. But obviously, it's not going to be against a team like the Green Hornets. And referee is going to call a slashing on Steve Gorman. Or no, he's going to call a slashing on Angelo Pontello. Well, that goes to show you what a 15-year-old referee kid knows, that's for sure. Oh yeah, definitely. I don't think he knows too much out there, but surprised that he is even refereeing this game right now. But yeah, definitely, you know, in an over 50 hockey game, again, as we said before, you don't have typically the smartest referees in this one, but at the same time, that 15-year-old kid, he has a whole lot more to learn in terms of the skill there. Because again, you look at even Angelo Pontello, he said it too, we saw it on the camera. He was just getting this one away. How you even equate that one to slashing? Again, very young referee, has a long ways to learn. Puck set up now over to Draper. Looking for Steve Byrne. Liebler trying to get this one cleared out, but this one gets deflected now over to Thomas. Finds Steve Byrne. Instead, this one will be taken away by Liebler. And Thomas will get the puck right back. Now it's back over to Quicko, looking to get this one cleared out, and he'll finally get it out. Puck off to Steve Byrne. This one out of Finland. And he's got Liebler to work with. This one over to Liebler. Working around Chiquan. Now finds Steve Byrne. Byrne will look to get this pass up the field. Lots of open space. But at this point, I mean, it looks like the Red Army is just about giving up.
And we're not even into the third period yet. And here comes Chiquan on the left side, looking to get his men to set up to in his own end. This one gets cleared out. This one off to Liebler. Makes a move around Finley. Now another move around Liebler. This one gets knocked out. This one out from Washburn back over to Greg Bell. As we are now at even strength. This one off to Ivan. We'll fire the shot kicked away by Vic. Another shot taken, crisp shot knocked out. Here comes Mark Walker. We'll fire the shot. Bounces off of Vic. This one back over to Bell. Knocked away by Vic. And here comes Pontello. Pontello will come quickly. Perhaps they're trying to look for goal number 2 to score. This one now off to Roberge. Shot fired. This one now back over to Walker. This one's gonna slide all the way back in the Red Army end. And there's your icing call. Honestly, Angelo, we really need to find something else to do. I mean, at this point. What do you mean about that, Andy? Well, I mean, for one thing, you look at this game right now and come to the look of the scoreline. You're hoping now this is the third period with 3:12 to go rather than the second period, because that just means another 12 more minutes of a bunch of over 50 players just skating around, even though the scoreline's already been settled. Roberge. Shot deflected high off of Steve Byrne. This one now over to Chiquan. Puck now to Jim Thomas. To a wide open Steve Byrne. Looks to set up back over to Draper. Now sets up to Thomas for the finish. Beautiful tic-tac-toe setup, and that couldn't have been set up any better than what I've imagined. Jim Thomas, Steve Byrne, and the Doug Draper trio have once again shown up Brian Vick today. And on that note, once the third period begins, there will be a running clock. But you have to wonder at this point, now with 7 goals, are the Green Hornets going to back off, or are they gonna perhaps maybe set a new record here today? Well, of course, it all depends on the way they're playing. If they continue the tic-tac-toe play, I'd say the heck with it. Just go for it, regardless of what happens. Here comes Stroughton. We'll fire the shot. Putting now back over to Thomas. Still with Jim Thomas, instead goes over to Pontello. And Chiquan will get this one around Stroughton from Steve Byrne. Trying to skate away is Pontello, and now it's back over to Stroughton. Chiquan takes the puck. 2 defenders back, now it's back over to Jim Thomas and Omar Chiquan moving with each other. Look out. Deadly duo from Chiquan, now back over to Thomas. Sets back over to Steve Byrne, takes the shot, and this one goes in. Steve Byrne coming in at the right time. And with 2 minutes to go, the Green Hornets are 3 goals away from setting the new record for most goals scored in a game. And I gotta say, Andy, do you think they can do it? Again, like I said before, Angelo, if the opportunity comes up for them, I say the heck with it. They need to try to see what they can do to get this game into double digits, and perhaps maybe even get make it a double digit difference, because again, no team and no game in the over 50 hockey league ever since its establishment back in 2011, there has never been a game where the difference has been more than 9 goals. There's never been a double digit difference. And of course, Greg Bell and Guy Roberge fighting with one another. Nothing's gonna be called there. Referees let them settle this one out. And now it's Tom Ivan with the puck. Puck off to Liebler. Puck sets up now to Finley. Gets around D'Angelo. Now around Walker. This one back over to Bell. Finds an open Tom Ivan, and here comes Ivan and Walker 2-on-1. Looks to set up to Walker. Plug back over to RT3. 1 minute remains in the second period, now 58.6 seconds after that icing call. But of course, if the game were to end right now, after 6 games, Brian Vick's goal average would literally would increase from 5.20 to 5.3, which, I mean, right now with how many goals the Red Army has given up per game, it's not necessarily too much of an increased jump. But at the same time, I mean, the question stands, you know, like, if Vick can hold up on his own. Well, I mean, again, you have to look at the players that he has right now and what this Red Army is doing, because again, you can't necessarily just focus on a keeper. You can't focus on like the keeper being the one doing the wrongdoing here. It depends on the team that he's set up with. Because right now you look at a team like the Yellow Jackets. You know, Arnie Strader by far is having a pretty decent season so far, only giving up 3 goals per game. And then you compare it to some others like Lonnie Herman, or Chewy that, you know, they've given up a little bit more. And then you got Lonnie Herman and the Grey Wolves that have given up. And let's see what's going on right now. Referees call a slashing call, but... And now let's see what's going on. And it looks like, yeah, I don't believe this. Referee, I don't know if it was Tom Finley complaining a lot or what have you, but the referees have officially given him what you would call, Andy, a red card. Not a lot of those happen lately. But that just goes to show you, I mean, like, with this Red Army team, just, again, when you have a team built this way and you're trying to win games, it is very frustrating, and there's only so much you can do. It's not even the third period yet, and already you got a guy kicked out. This one bounced off the boards. This is Chewy. Knock this one away. Now it's from Phil Field to Omer Chaquan. And at the end of the second period, 9-1 Green Hornets. Can they do it, Andy? That's all I'm going to say. Will the Green Hornets take advantage of an opportunity set before them to try to make this a double-digit difference, for one, and rewrite the history books in terms of most goals scored? Or are they going to back off? I mean, right now, Angelo, with 12 minutes to go, you can't be set up any better. You know, even in 12 minutes, if the Green Hornets, even if they're trying to do the best they can to just skate this one around, there are going to be some goals set up eventually. And, you know, the way this team's been playing, I think we could be seeing the absolute worst game ever played at this moment today here on January 18th, 2015. Could be marked as the Green Hornets giving the biggest butt whooping to the Red Army right now, and that could be huge, to say the least. Well, we'll take a little quick break here. Second intermission, Green Hornets 9, Red Army 1. Don't go away, we'll be right back. This is Over 50 Hockey on the Pontello Broadcasting Network. Third period set to begin. Pontello will take the face-off against Chuck Falvo. And thus begin the running clock. And now at this point, it's nothing more than just a pickup period. Might as well consider this to be practice. This is Angelo Fontola. He'll skate around Jim Thomas. Flies back over to Liebler, looking to set up the shot. Chewy kicks it away. Draper now sets up to Ivan. Gorman trying to get this one back over to Pontello. Now it's over to Thomas instead. Draper moves it up to Ivan. From Jim Thomas, now back over. And this is to Doug Draper. Finds foul ball, lost control of it, now back over to Greg Bell instead. Now to Gorman. This puck goes back, over to Chewy, sets up to Steve Byrne. This is Marty Washburn, this one off the boards, and this will be sliding back in the Red Army end. This one over to Gorman. Tip by Chiquan, this one back over to Steve Byrne. And I'll get this one off to Phil Field. This one now sets up to Washburn. Perhaps he can get a goal of his own. And Gorman will rip the puck away from Washburn. Here comes Nader. Chiquan will knock this one away. Now back over to Nader. One off to Washburn. Puck back over to Quicko, and he'll fire this one high and into the media bench, or the media box in this case. Puck over to Pontello. Looking to set up to Ricci. Ricci fires back again, and it is saved by Chewy. I've never seen a save like that, Andy. I have to admit, trying to have your glove in between your thigh and the post has to be a pretty neat save. Put that on the highlight reel. Puck now over to Thomas. This one back over to Bell. Sets up to Ivan. No, just off of Ivan's stick. Here comes Quicko. This one now over to Jim Thomas. Setting up to Roberge. Spins around. Back over to Liebler. Now off to Quicko. Stripped loose by Ivan. Now back over to Draper. Pontello. Now Draper in his own end, looking to get the pass off to Quicko. This one off to Ivan. No, he's still fighting with the puck for Quicko. Open puck. Here comes Nader. Puck now up to Jim Thomas. Off the board, sets up the field. This one off the boards, this one comes back around over to Ivan. Puck gets around Gorman. Here comes Brian Vick with the puck. Looking to get this one around, finds Stroughton. Stroughton trying to get away from Mark Walker, now looking to get past Chiquan, strips loose of the puck. Chiquan will regroup for the Green Hornets. Finds a crisp pass to Washburn. And it'll be an offsides call. Nader and Walker on the face-off. Gorman with the puck. Trying to get this one around. This one to Chiquan. Puck back around now to Stroughton. Taken away by Walker. No, back out to RT3. Working against Chiquan. This one taken away. Intercepted by Chiquan.
Trying to make sure everybody's on sides, and here comes Chiquan. Puck tipped away, here comes Madalena. Finds Nader. Back over to Falbo. Taken away by Liebler. Still looking for their second goal of the game. Red Army trying to post something. And it's misfired, and here comes Draper the other way. Looking for Ivan just out of his reach. Now back over to Steve Gorman for the Red Army. Puck now off to Angelo Pontello. Sets up to Liebler. Liebler looking to get the pass back over to Pontello, instead intercepted by Thomas. Looking to get this one set up to Ivan. Just out of his reach. Regrouping now over to Quicko. Comes back over to Ricci. And Jim Thomas will take it away instead. Flips this one high. This one back over to Roberge. Puck now to Falbo. Stopped by Pontello. He's on the move. He'll fire the shot deflected off of Draper. Comes Greg Bell now off to Phil Field. Skates around, and instead it's going to be taken away by Roberge. Off the boards, this one's coming back to the Green Hornet end. Chewy will regroup. And now it's off to Phil Field. He skates from center ice into the Red Army zone. Looking to get around Gorman, he does. Phil Field trying to make a move off to Greg Bell. Firing the shot, and it's saved by Brian Vick. Well, on a side note, Andy, if Green Hornets score one more goal, that will bring Brian Vick's goals per game average to 6 goals given up. That would be pretty horrific, Angelo. I don't think I've ever seen something quite that disturbing in this over 50 hockey league in terms of the stats, but you know, it's never happened. I don't think I've ever seen a goalie giving up on average 6 goals a game in terms of the statistics in any part of the season. It would honestly be a real shame if that were to happen. Mark Walker and company looking to set up this one now back over to Ivan, now taken away by Madalena. Back over to Steve Byrne. 3:34 remaining in the game. It's now to Gorman. This one back over to Madalena. Sets it back over to RT3. Puck off to Byrne. Wide open ice for Phil Field, and he's got some time. Lots of it, too. He'll get this one off to Draper. And Pontello slips and falls as he gets tripped up. Yeah, it just happened to be at the wrong place at the wrong time. Here comes Quicko with the puck. He'll skate around. He'll find an open Roberge. From Ricci, now taken away by Thomas. Over to Quicko, who I believe had the puck for the first time in the Green Hornet zone. Back over to D'Angelo. And he'll get this one cleared out. Pontello will skate to it first. He'll get it off the other way over to D'Angelo. Sets up to Ricci. Fires the shot, kicked away by Chewy. Liebler coming in on the rebound. Takes it, knocked away, and there's a firing shot by Jeff Quicko. And the Red Army will finally get another goal on the board. Deficit now 9-2. And a minute 43 remains as they go for yet another face-off. This one from Liebler.
Now it's Jim Thomas looking to try to make it goal 10 perhaps. No, he'll get around. Pontello with the puck. Minute 11 remains. Firing the shot. Hits the post. And the final minute of the game remains. Nader on the left side. They're looking to try to maybe score 3 goals in the game. Puck firing shot from Nader, incomplete. This one now over to Washburn, trying to get this one cleared out, but instead stopped by Stroughton. Stroughton back over to Gorman. 32 seconds remain. Puck now back over by Stroughton. This one's going to be fired back. This one off to Ricci, as he's looking to set up again, intended for Nader. This one gets knocked back in the Green Hornet end. 11 seconds remain now. Chiquan with the puck in his own end. Looks like he's just going to clear it. No, it'll be Steve Byrne. He'll be the one that gets off to Walker, and that's how the game is going to end. Final score, Green Hornets 9, Red Army 2. But again, just an ugly, ugly game from the start. And at least the Red Army got a couple of goals on the board, but either way, this is a much needed win for the Green Hornets, and they will advance to 4-2 and jump back into second heading into midseason. Well, again, this was not the storyline here to see. Red Army thought that today would have been the day, especially coming up against a Green Hornet team that had a 2-game losing streak, and now they get their win off right. They're back on track. And I'll give credit to this Red Army team. They're still trying, but they're not there yet. So on that note, we'll take a quick look in the mid-season standings. After their win today, their shootout win, Yellow Jackets to 5-1 with 10 points, followed by the Green Hornets with 8 points at their 4-2 record. Gray Wolves, after their shootout loss, fall to 3-2-1, so they're only 1 point behind the Green Hornets. And of course, the Red Army was zilch. Zilch and 6, zilch points, however you want to use the word zilch. That's where they are right now. And again, Angelo, you look at the Gray Wolves 2 years ago, same position. They were 0-6. They had a mid-season in boost, and then they ended up having a long winning streak, which of course came to a unfortunate end in the championship game against the over 50 Cup 9 champion Red Army team, against this team that won their first championship. So anything can happen. So on that note, again, for Andy Townsend, I'm Angelo Pontello, saying so long, good night, and we hope everybody has a blessed evening. Take care, everyone.